Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching and for subscribing. And if you're just visiting, please consider subscribing. So today I'm going to do a really fun video. What if I could only keep one fragrance from each house? What would I choose? This is not an easy task, but I'm going to try. And this is based on a video that Clemens did from Clemens CC Fragrances. She is amazing, adorable, really funny. I really enjoy her channel. Love her French accent. I am sure that all of you know her channel, but just in case, of course, it will be linked in the description. And I believe the way that she did this video is her subscribers or her followers chose what houses they wanted to talk her about, and then she decided if she could only keep one from each house, then what that fragrance would be. Now, of course, I've made my choices of houses that I'm going to talk about, and the way that I've chosen them is based on how much I have tried from each house. So I've only chosen houses where I feel like I have a good grasp on their fragrances. Either I own a lot of them, or I don't necessarily have to own a lot of them, but if I've tried a lot of the fragrances or majority of the fragrances from each house, and I can really make an educated cut and decide what I want to keep. So there are quite a few to go through. There's one house that you're not going to see on this list, and that's the house of Xerjoff, even though I've tried a lot of fragrances from that house. And the reason for that is very simple, because I just released a video very recently dedicated to the whole house and all the fragrances that I've tried from it. So I didn't want to repeat myself. That's why I'm not including it in this list. So let's start with the house of Lancome. And if I could only keep one fragrance from this house, I would choose Roses Berberonza. And I don't think it's a surprising choice if you watched my channel. There are a lot of beautiful fragrances in this house, really a lot. But if I could only keep one, I have to go with this one. I just absolutely love it. It is such a stunning, sweet, boozy rose with such an amazing addition of pistachios, which I know can be challenging for many, but for me, it's one of my favorite parts of this fragrance. There's also raspberry, there's honey. So you can see that it is very sweet. It is boozy because there is rum in here as well. And it has a touch of fruitiness. Overall, such a stunning rose. Really one of the best. And like I said, if I could only keep one, this is the one I'm gonna go with. Next one is House of Yves Saint Laurent, and here I've chosen Manifesto L'Eclat. Haven't spoken about this fragrance in a while. Not sure why, because it is definitely my favorite. Well, it's hard to choose a favorite. I have so many, but at the moment, I feel like this is my top pick from this house. This fragrance is about vanilla, but it's very green vanilla. There's also green tea in here, bergamot. There's some florals in here, and I think it's bergamot, tea, all of that make this really green and kind of fresher vanilla, but it's not too green. For those that are afraid of green notes, don't be. In this case, green notes are not very strong. It just makes the vanilla a little bit lighter, I think. So yeah, Manifesto L'Eclat is my choice from Yves Saint Laurent. Next, let's go with the house of Guerlain. And this was probably one of the hardest choices because, well, there's so many stunning fragrances in this house, and there are quite a few that I love. And maybe if you asked me a month or two ago, I would have made a different choice, but based on how I feel right now, if I could only choose one, I would choose Spiritueuse Double Vanille. Have been really loving this fragrance during the winter and even continuing in March. This is a woody, smoky, boozy vanilla, just so beautiful. Outstanding scent, deserves all the hype that it gets, and at the moment, that's the one I would keep. Next, let's go with Parfums de Marly. And I might surprise you here, but if I could only choose one, I think I would keep a fragrance that I don't have a full bottle of, but I have sampled and I definitely would like to get a full bottle of, and that's Eau Jaune. There's just something about this fragrance that completely captivated me. I fell in love with it, and I can't believe I'm saying that I would keep this over Delina or over Meliora, which I absolutely love. But at the moment, that's the one I would go with. Now, Eau Jaune has cinnamon, honey, osmanthus, benzoin, vanilla, and it is such a gorgeous, spicy, slightly spicy, cinnamon type of spicy gourmand. It has honey, it has osmanthus, it just such a gorgeous scent, very warm, very deep, very enveloping type of scent. Absolutely love it. And like I said, at the moment, that's the one I would choose. Next, let's go with Gallagher fragrances. And even though I only have 2 full bottles, I've actually sampled all of the fragrances that they currently have in their catalog. And I can definitely choose the one that I would keep. Actually, this choice was quite easy, and I'm sure all of you know what I'm gonna go with. Of course, I'm gonna go with Rosé all day. Even though I love the other fragrance that I have from this house, which is Wicked Good, but if I could only choose one, I am definitely choosing this one. It is stunning powerhouse of a fragrance. It has apple crisp, rose, brown sugar, honey. It is sweet and sour at the same time. And again, I'm absolutely obsessed with this scent. I would totally wear it every day if only my husband didn't hate the scent so much. So, you know, to respect how much he hates it, I have to use it in moderation. Otherwise, I think it would be really hard to stop using it every day. Absolutely love this one. Rosé all day. Next, let's go with the House of Tom Ford. And again, no surprises here. The fragrance I would keep is Lost Cherry. I'm not going to go into all the notes. I've spoken about this one way too much in the last few months. This is a beautiful, warm cherry pie, maybe with a touch of rum drizzled on top of it. Warm, beautiful. That's all I can say about it. You know how much I've been obsessed with this scent. Next, let's look at the house of Titiana Taranzi, and I have 4 full bottles from this house, although I have tried quite a number more of their fragrances. And if I could only keep one, I would go with Cassiopeia. This one is a beautifully sweet fruit explosion. More specifically, passion fruit is the most prominent note in here. It is kind of light, it is airy, it is not too overpowering. It doesn't have very strong or synthetic musk, how, you know, some of their fragrances do. This is beautiful, especially if you enjoy sweet, fruity scents. This one is outstanding. So again, my choice is Cassiopeia. Next, let's look at Mancera, and I have, I think, 5 full bottles, although I've sampled a ton of their fragrances. And unfortunately, many Mancera fragrances don't work for me, but there are some that do. And from the ones that do, if I could only keep one, I would choose Sicily. This is one of my top scents for summer. It is such a gorgeous citrusy orange scent. This really feels like a freshly peeled orange. It is very juicy. It is a touch tart. It is sweet. It is refreshing. It is zesty. It is a stunner. I love, love, love wearing this one in the summer. And this is one of my top citrus scents that I currently have. Next, let's go to the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian. And I have tried a lot of his fragrances. I've ordered samples from his website and tried quite a lot. I think almost all of them. And if I had to choose number 1 right now, I would go with Grand Soir. I have been enjoying this scent so much through the winter. It is, of course, about amber, but there's also benzoin, vanilla, and it's just rich, smooth, deep, sweet type of amber. Gorgeous scent. The longer it sits on the skin, the sweeter and the deeper it becomes, and the more I fall in love with this scent. Absolutely love smelling this scent when I'm wearing it. Just a lovely, lovely scent. So again, this is Grand Soir from Maison Francis Kurkdjian. Next, let's go to BBK Parfums. I currently have 3 bottles from them, but again, I have tried quite a lot. And if I could only choose one, this one was a really hard choice to narrow down to one, but I decided to go with Pasta Soir. This is another one of those kind of sweet, fruity scents. You can see probably I'm anticipating spring and summer and warm weather, and I'm really gravitating to those fruity type of scents. So the most prominent note here is quince. There is orange, ginger, there's some florals. And it is such a gorgeous quince. I've never actually eaten a quince, but I have smelled it. So I don't know how it tastes, but I can definitely pick up the smell. Such a beautiful, sweet, fruity, delicious scent. Definitely going with Pasta Soir from BBK. Of course, I had to talk about the house of Mugler because I have quite a, I think, a substantial collection from this house. And if I could choose one, I would definitely go with Angel Muse EDP. This is the fragrance that made me fall in love with this house, and this is still my #1 pick from this house, without a doubt. This is, of course, patchouli and hazelnut spread. Sweet, powerful, strong, delicious, outstanding scent. Like I said, still from the beginning and up to now, definitely my #1 from this house. Next, let's go to a house that I discovered very recently, but I had a chance to sample, I think, almost all of their fragrances. I think I haven't tried one, and that's the house of Frassai. You know that I purchased 2 full bottles, but if I could only keep one, I would go with Titiana. This was the one that I fell in love with immediately as soon as I tried it. This is kind of slightly sweet, spicy dessert. That's how I would describe it. It is not too sweet. It is not too spicy. Everything is done in moderation. Everything is blended together beautifully. It's kind of, in a way, understated, but in another way, it is powerful. And this one has an amazing performance as well. So my choice from Frassai is Titiana. And this brings us to the last house that I'm going to mention here, and that's the house of Guerlain. Interesting thing is that, to me, Guerlain is relatively new house. I really haven't explored it enough. I definitely want to try so many more fragrances, but I have had a chance to start exploring it last year and at the beginning of this year. And from what I have tried, it was not easy to narrow it down to one because there are at least 2 that I absolutely love. But at the end of the day, I decided to go with this one, and that is Angel Share, because I've had it since, I can't remember, October, I want to say, possibly November, but I think October, and I still love this fragrance and obsessed with this fragrance the same way now that I was when I first got it. This is gorgeous. It has cognac, cinnamon, oak, vanilla, and I've mentioned before, to me, it feels like eating a cinnamon bun and drinking a glass of cognac. It is gorgeous. It is boozy and sweet, and the combination is just stunning together. So again, if I could only choose one from Guerlain, I would go with Angel's Share. So these are the houses that I decided to talk about today. I would love to know, if you could only choose one fragrance from your most favorite house, what would it be? Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye.